I'm Bob Yamtich, and I'm discussing the pros and cons of labels in the context of neurodiversity. And I want to begin with empathy for those who would resist labels. And you can do that in the name of many different values. In the name of like care and consideration and dignity. If you fear that somebody will use a label to belittle or demean you, if there's an external stigma, then of course you would resist that. And that external stigma might live as internal stigma, like looking within and saying, oh, I don't want this to be true about who I am. That's not how I want to see myself. And related to that, there could be self-responsibility. You could see the human condition as we all have some things that come easily and some things which require extra effort. And it's the task of every human to figure out where they need to direct more resources to gain more skills. And in the name of self-responsibility, then maybe the label wouldn't be useful. But I've been using the label of Asperger's for the last several years. And before that, before I added Asperger's and autism spectrum condition to my self-understanding, I had a friend who, when we would go shopping at Target and the cashier was nice to me, she would say, I really like her acceptance of you. And then I had a therapy professor in my counseling psych program tell me, you know, it takes a lot of courage to be you. And I'm like, what is it about me that requires receiving acceptance and demonstrating courage? I'm in this mysterious space, and I think that something about Asperger's explains both of those. And I remember when I was reading the first book I've read on Asperger's, and I just started crying. And like, these were not tears of lament. These were tears of accurate empathy. And these were significant tears because I could count on one hand the amount of times I've cried. And then likely it would only take two hands to count the number of tears per crying event. So this was pretty significant for me, the self-understanding. And I don't want all self-understanding related to labels, to be bad news. The benefits of labels for self-understanding, I want it to be useful and empowering to help people realize that they're not alone and to find resources that could help you kind of increase skills where you need some extra support. And that's been hugely useful for me up until this point. There might come a time where I don't explicitly use the label for myself. But as long as there's a stigma associated with neurodiversity, even as far and absurd as curing or combating or eliminating these differences, such as autism and Asperger's, it's important for me to embrace the label for pro-diversity outreach and advocacy. And in closing, I'd love to request that you go to my blog at bobyamtich.com and leave me a comment telling me about the benefits you may envision about using a label for understanding and empowerment. Thank you so much.